Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Clarissa. I'm a beginner knitter, sewist, and clothes maker. I'm a Filipino based in Scotland, where I live with my husband, my baby boy, and our doggie named Molly. This is episode 1 of my knitting podcast. So I thought I'd start off with who I am and why I'm doing this at all. I learned to knit when I was 16. I was an exchange student in Japan, and one of my classmates taught me. And I didn't even know the words knit and purl then. Like, it was just, this is how you knit a scarf. And she taught me how to do stockinette and cables. And I knit a few scarves then. Then I had to move back to the Philippines, where knitting wasn't really a thing at the time. This was like 2002, 2003. It wasn't really a thing. Not very sure it's even a thing now, but anyway, it wasn't a thing then. And then fast forward to 2017, when I moved to Scotland. I was taking my master's at the University of Edinburgh. And at the time, clothes making sounded like a fun thing to do. Like, I had a friend who knew how to make her own clothes, and it sounded so interesting and fascinating, but it was also so out of reach. Like, as a student, I didn't really have much money to do anything. And then in 2021, I learned to sew. I took a beginner's sewing course just over the weekend with Sew Confident, a company based out of the West End of Glasgow. They're great, by the way. You should totally check them out. They taught us how to make a tote bag, a little pouch, and bunting. And then at the end of the course, they said, well, you can bring your own project, whatever you want to make. And I was like, I definitely want to make clothes. I searched online on Peppermint magazine. They have free sewing patterns, and I chose the pocket skirt, and I bought the fabric from them and everything. So I brought that with me, and I made a skirt. Like, I made an actual skirt that I still wear, and I'll post a picture here. And then from there, I caught the making bug. I just wanted to make all the things. Like, just over the weekend, learning how to sew, it felt so empowering that I can actually make stuff. And then a few months later, I got pregnant, and I was just feeling sick and couldn't make anything. I just didn't have time or space for my hobbies. And then when Jack was about 6 months old, that's when I decided I need to get back into my hobbies. And I joined the Sew Confident capsule collection course for the autumn and winter clothes. So they give you all the patterns and all the fabric and all the notions you need, and then it's an online course where they teach you how to make all these clothes, which is great. But not even halfway through, Jack outgrew his bassinet in our room. So we live in a 2-bedroom house, and the second bedroom is where I work. I have my home office here, and because Jack outgrew his bassinet in our bedroom, I had to move him here, and this is where he sleeps now. And I could only sew at night when he's asleep. And I used to sew here in this office, and then because he sleeps here now, I can't. I just lost my space to sew. I can't really sew in any other room in the house because he'll be able to hear the sewing machine. And if you are a parent, you just do your best not to wake them up in the middle of the night. And then I decided I still need a hobby that won't wake up my baby. And I knew how to knit. And at this point, I knew how I've knit a blanket and a couple of hats. So after having knit that blanket, I thought, right, I'm not the kind of person that can start a project and just never finish it, and because I don't like knitting anymore. No, I've tested that. It's like, right, I know how to knit and I want to knit. And then I discovered Kutuvakika on YouTube and started getting recommendations about all these other knitting channels. And I can't believe knitting was an actual huge community, that there are all these podcasts that exist. Like, I just went down a whole rabbit hole. And yeah, I just totally got back into knitting. I saw that lots of people were making their own sweaters and their own clothes to wear, and I don't know, I never thought that it was possible, or it was it could be a thing that I could do. And having watched a few tutorials, and I was like, I know how to knit and I know how to purl. And I've done knitting in the round once and with a hat, and I'll figure it out. Like I know all those things. I can totally do that. So I could say that I'm an adventurous beginner. Like I know how to knit and I know how to purl. I know how to cast on and I know how to cast off. Just like the general basic things. And I was thinking, yeah, I can do that. Let me get into that. And at first, I couldn't figure out, it was like a whole thing because I couldn't figure out yarn weights and the yarn composition. Like it just sounded so foreign. And then figuring out like what size of needle you need. I just couldn't understand any of it, in other words. So I started off with knitting kits because I thought, well, somebody's just going to put everything together in a box for me and I can just go. So I started off, as I think a few people start off anyway, with We Are Knitters and Wool and the Gang. So I made a We Are Knitters, the Hackney cardigan from We Are Knitters. It didn't turn out great. I finished it and I'll share photos, but I ended up frogging it, which is an interesting, it's a fun word to use. But I ended up frogging it because it just wasn't the right fit for me. Like I should have checked. The lesson I learned there was that I should have checked the Ravelry projects or the projects on Instagram and see what it looked like on the people who've made them. And it was just different from the model cardigan that was made. Like it seemed like maybe I should have knit like a bigger size or whatever. I didn't even gauge swatch either because I didn't know it was a thing. I did anyway. It was all wrong. So I frogged it. So I think the next question I should probably answer is, why am I even doing this? There are so many knitting podcasts out there. And I'm here for a few reasons. First of all, I think it's fun. I just want to try it out and see how it goes. Like the idea of filming myself and then editing the video and actually publishing it on YouTube is terrifying, but also it could be fun. I might enjoy it. The second reason is I don't really have anyone else in my life that knows how to knit or that likes to knit and chat about knitting. Like I have a colleague though who does, but then I don't really hang out with her because we all work from home and we're all online, so it's not really a thing, I suppose. And I tried looking for knitting groups in my area, but haven't found any. Like I checked Facebook groups and things, but I didn't really find any. In any case, I don't really have the time to be able to go out and sit and chat with people. As a working mom, time is just scarce. But I do have a lot of things to share. Like I have lots of thoughts and I have lots of questions and I really want to say things. And I sometimes tell my husband, but I feel like he's not really that interested, or he's just like, oh yeah, whatever, which is fair enough. The third reason is I wanted to document this learning process. As I said, I'm an adventurous beginner. Like I just want to learn all the things and I have all these questions and I just want to show how I would go about answering them, I guess. And it might be useful for someone. Hopefully, let me know, please. I think that's everything. So let me now share with you some of my goals. First of all, and it's really the main one, I want to have 80% of my wardrobe be me made, whether it be knitted or sewn or whatever. I just think it's really cool. I'm giving the 20% to like big jackets and coats that I feel like I probably shouldn't make myself. So I'm Filipino. I live in Scotland and I'm just cold eternally, even in the summer. So the winters are particularly difficult, and I like my North Face jacket. I don't think I would attempt to make one. Who knows? I suppose never say never, but probably not. My second goal is to be able to speak like a knitter, the way knitters on YouTube speak, like frogged, variegated yarn, plutulopi, hank, on the needles, cake, blocked, ball winder. I just want to speak like that. I just want to be able to use those words naturally in a conversation, or at least in a one-way conversation. And I just think it's really fun. And I just want to be that kind of person that uses those words like normally. I also want to not be a monogamous knitter. I don't know, I'm totally influenced by the people I watch, obviously. And it just sounds like a fun thing to be able to knit lots of projects, to be comfortable with putting a project down and feeling, okay, I'm not into knitting stockinette stitch in the round right now. I would like to knit something else. And it would be, because I get that. I get the bored feeling. And I don't know, I want to be able to handle different projects and then still finish them. I don't think I'm going to ever be the type of person that doesn't finish. It's just and it's also an uncomfortable feeling for me. And not to say that monogamous knitting is bad. I just want to try not to be. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I can just be a monogamous knitter and be happy. I also want a little bit of a yarn stash, because all my yarn at the moment, I suppose I do have a little yarn stash, but they all have projects pinned on them. Like, I've never bought yarn for the sake of buying yarn, mainly because I don't really know what I'm doing. It's just like when you go to a yarn store, oh, this is a nice yarn. And if you don't have a project in mind, like how do you know how much to buy? Or if you do have a project, if you think, all right, I want to make a sweater out of this. But if you don't have a pattern, how do you know how much yarn to get? Anyway, I'm assuming it comes with experience. And I'm hoping to get that experience and become that kind of person. I also want to be comfortable with woolly wool sweaters. At the moment, like even, so what was I made a drop snip haul sweater. And I'm currently making a sweater using mohair for the first time. And it's still a little bit itchy, but I want to be able to get used to it enough so that it's not itchy. I have a feeling it has to be colder. I suppose it's spring, so it's gonna be itchy. But I'm hoping one day I'll be able to wear the woolly wools and the sheepy clothes. So this sweater that I'm wearing is not handmade. It is from H&M. It is fast fashion, but you know, it is what it is. This is what I could afford at the time, and I'm not getting rid of it. My next goal, I think my last goal, is to find my style. I'm from a tropical country, and I found my style there in that I would wear sleeveless or tank tops and a skirt, high-waist skirt, and slippers. Like, I didn't even wear jeans there. And when I moved here, like, it was all just so difficult trying to figure out what I'm supposed to wear in the winter. Like, cold weather clothes are just uncomfortable and bulky, and I just never knew what to wear. I could never figure it out. And then I got pregnant, then everything just grew in size, and then now I'm not pregnant. It's just, but I still can't fit in my old clothes. Anyway, my point is, I don't know what my style is, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I would like to figure that out by being able to make my own clothes, theoretically, if that works out. But join me in this process. I suppose this is a whole thing, and I hope I'm going to be able to document it. We shall see. So this is already feeling really long, but it probably isn't going to be, because I'm going to have to cut out a lot of things. So I thought I would just skip the finished objects bit, because I just don't want to do it anymore, and start off with the works in progress. So you'll see that would be some progress between this and the next one. So my first work in progress is a stuffed toy. So I never thought I would be knitting not garments. But when I saw this book from Well Loved Knits, I just thought I'd had to have it, and I needed to make one for my son. It is here. I will post a picture. It's called Charlie the Chimpanzee, from the book Knitted Wild Animals by Louise Crowther. It's really, really cute, I think. I used sheep stone washed. I hope I'm saying that right. Sheep just stone washed in black onyx and boulder opal. It's currently on hold because the stuffing for the animal is in storage, and I just can't be bothered to get it, and that's why it's on hold. And then, so moving on to my really the only whip on my needles at the moment is this. It is the first sweater by Hive Knits. Loads of people have made this. I thought it was really cool because I wanted to try this half fisherman's rib stitch that people talk about as well. I think it's also like a brioche. I think that's what it is. And then, or maybe brioche is like a, not the half fisherman's rib, maybe the whole one. I don't know, but it, anyway, it's got the big V's. The yarn I'm using is the recommended one because really I wish I can understand like how to swap yarns out and the yardage, meterage, whatever, all of that, and how it's, anyway, all of that one day. But at the moment, it's still the recommended yarn. It's the Filcolana Arwetta in gray and Drops Kid Silk in Blue Wind. I'm knitting size 5. What can I say about this? This is the first time I'm knitting with mohair, and I don't know, is it meant to be this fluffy? I mean, look at that. Look at that fluff. I don't know. When I see pictures of people knitting with mohair, it doesn't seem this fluffy. Even the swatch was really, really fluffy. I don't know if I like it. Mohair everywhere. But it's worth a try. I mean, lots of people are knitting with like, what's the normal comment? Like knitting for olive, something merino, and one strand of knitting for olive merino and soft silk mohair. Is that it? The dreams. One day I will be able to say that properly and not laugh. But this is the sweater. I've just split for sleeves. I decided to stop knitting the body as soon as I ran out of mohair, and then started with the sleeve. Well, just because, I don't know, I was getting bored with the what's this called, stockinette in the round, and I wanted to try this stitch again, see how it goes. It's knitting quite slowly as what people normally say about this stitch, but it's fun to do anyway. I quite like it. I'm looking forward to finishing it. It is a little scratchy, but maybe I will get used to it. What else can I say about this? The thing that I'm worried about a little bit is I don't know how long this should be. So with the first sweater I made, I felt like it was too short. And then when I knit a little bit more, it was still too short, maybe. This is the problem with my style. Like my body's changed after giving birth. So now actually I don't know, like clothes fit funny on me now because I'm not used to it maybe, or I just haven't found the thing that will look good on me. I've looked at, so a lot of people say, oh, you need to find like a jumper or a shirt that looks good on you and then copy that. But I don't have one. I think I don't have one. I don't know, maybe this is a body positivity, just feel good in your body type thing. Or it's just finding your style, whatever it is. I really don't know what to do. So we'll see how this goes. I'll knit it to the length that she recommends and then try it on and see. I'll show you and maybe y'all can help me. Some knitting plans. So as I said, I wanted to be not a monogamous knitter. So I thought, what the heck? I wanted to start off with socks, but the sock yarn that I had was in storage. I had plans for it, but then it's in storage and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it or when I'm going to have the energy to go and hunt for it and get it. But I might just buy another yarn and make socks. We'll see how that goes because I really do want to be a kind of sock knitter. I have the book 52 Weeks of Socks. My best friend gave that to me for Christmas and I was like, yes, I'm gonna make some socks. And then I was like, maybe I should start off with a vanilla type socks, like an easy thing. And then of course I Google it or I search for it on Ravelry and there are like 10 million projects and like where do you even start? So I thought I just need to start but I never did because I could never choose which pattern to use. We'll see. I hope to be able to figure that out very soon. But in the meantime, I was inspired by Wool Needles Hands. She has a podcast. Her name is Tailor. She's really cool. And I've been binging her channel because I recently just found her. She has a make-along at the moment, something old, something new. And I was inspired by that because I had, as I mentioned earlier, I frogged the Hackney cardigan, the We Are Knitters Hackney cardigan. And the yarn is Merry Wool. And I was looking for projects on Ravelry that have used that yarn, and I saw that Aosta cardigan by the Knit Pearl Girl recommends this yarn. So I thought, perfect, not too much thinking to do, and I swatched it, and I got gauge on the recommended needle size 7. This is the Andalusian stitch. I wish someone please tell me how to pronounce these things, because I did Google pronunciations, but then it's different in different countries. I should just follow whatever pronunciation British people do, because that's where I live. Yes, I think it's really cool. I tried the bigger needle size 8, because when I first swatched this, it was I had too many stitches. But then when I blocked it, it turned out all right. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'll probably cast that on really, really soon, because the needles that are in the first sweater are size 4.5, I think. So the needles are free. Size 7 needles are free. Millimeters, size 4.5 millimeters and 7 millimeters, not US sizes, because I don't live in the US. I think that's everything. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for making it this far. I hope to create better videos after this. Please let me know what you think. I welcome feedback. I can't promise that I'll be following everybody's feedback, but I do welcome it, and I would love to learn how to make better videos and better knitting content, and to knit better, to become the knitter that I watch on YouTube. Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye. Recommendations from YouTube, and Alexa, stop telling me about things. And then I discovered Kutavakika. Alexa, stop it.